Rosie and Jack climbed the beanstalk. Bedtime Stories read aloud. Story read by Irene and brought to you by StoryHub. Once upon a time, there was a little girl and her brother. Her name was Rosie and his name was Jack. They were very close and looked out for one another no matter what the situation. One day, Rosie came across a single magic bean in her backyard. She quickly ran inside to show Jack, and he was just as excited as she was. Jack thought it was a sign from the universe that something good was about to happen, as he had been feeling a bit down lately. He quickly convinced Rosie to plant the bean, and together they dug a deep hole in the ground and planted it in the center. Slowly, a gigantic beanstalk started growing right before their eyes. Rosie and Jack were shocked. They couldn't believe that the bean had grown into something so grand. They climbed up the stalk, and with each step they took, they began feeling more and more excited about what awaited them at the top. As they reached the top, they found themselves in an enchanted land. There was a castle made of candy and chocolate rivers running through it. Rosie and Jack were thrilled. Everywhere they looked there was something new to explore. Suddenly, they heard a loud voice booming from inside the castle. "Who is there? What are you doing here?" Rosie and Jack turned around to see an old man standing in front of them with a cane in his hand. He explained that he was the guardian of this magical world, and that no one had ever been able to make it past his castle before. The old man offered Rosie and Jack some of his delicious candies from his castle if they told him their story. How did two kids like them climb up such an enormous beanstalk? So Rosie began to explain about how she found one single magic bean in her backyard, which eventually grew into this giant beanstalk, leading them straight to this enchanted land. With every word she spoke, Jack nodded along proudly as her story unfolded before them both. When Rosie was done telling her story, the old man smiled warmly. He seemed to really enjoy hearing their tale. He thanked them for coming all this way just for him, before offering each of them a bag full of candies as a reward for their bravery and courage, which they happily accepted. "Before you leave," said the old man, "I'd like to offer you one last bit of advice. Always keep believing in your dreams no matter how impossible they may seem." With those wise words echoing in their minds, Rosie and Jack thanked the old man before climbing down the beanstalk back home again. And from that day forward, every time little Rosie or Jack felt sad or lonely, all they had to do was think back on this adventure. Suddenly all worries seemed insignificant compared to everything wonderful that awaited anyone who dared dream big enough.